tofu in the kitchen while I'm making the fish and I really enjoyed it, but then I'm like, oh my gosh.
Please take your seats. We're about to start.
Um, the bottom- still I think
Officially, we've started. You have my. That's one. Oh. I'm sorry. Okay. Um, I'm taking over the chair tonight. Bill and Lavani are both on the mainland. And so the activity comes down to the treasurer. So this is an unusual experience for me to do. So I wanted to let you know that first. Our meeting is called to order, and our first order of business will be to take attendance of the board members. And we're going to start that now. Emily, are you here?
Present.
Bruce Andrews, are you here?
President Ramoli.
Thank you. Jennifer Barr, are you here?
Present remotely.
Bill Hicks?
Present remotely.
How do you say your name? Malia? Malia? No. Okay. Kellyanne?
In the parking lot. Don't know.
Not yet.
Just coming in.
David Lee?
It was
Nope.
just scary. I hope.
Lavani Lipton?
One.
Kate Brider? Kalama Susan? Smiley? Malia? She online? No. Jeremy? Steve Treadwell?
Here.
Kellyanne? Gary Willer, I'm here. Don White? Not here. And Donna Wong. Leah's here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You got 9, 10? 10, Donna's 10. So we have one. Yes?
Oh, I'm here.
Okay. Glad that's out of the way. Okay. Rules of speaking. Anyone that wishes to speak remotely should click on the raised hand icon when recognized by the chair. Address comments to the chair. Remarks shall not exceed 3 minutes, and the chat box can also be used to ask simple questions. Also, when you come up to the microphone, try to adjust it so it's close to your mouth so I can hear better. Okay, announcements. Our honorable mayor is coming over to this side of the island on Thursday, May 28th. And he will be at Waimanalo District Park Gym for a town hall meeting. Anyone that would like to attend, you can just show up at 6:30 and attend the meeting and ask the mayor any question you want to. Usually at these ceremonies, All his directors are there also, so you can ask them questions about different departments within the city and county. The annual I Love Kailua Town Party will be held on Sunday, April 26th from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. on Kailua Road in downtown Kailua. Come and see all your neighbors and have fun. Okay, Hawaiian Electric will be hosting a public meeting on renewable energy zones, initiatives to share information on the process designed to help guide where future energy renewable projects may be cited. The meeting will be on Thursday, April 9th at the Wynwood Community College. How do you say that room? Haleakala Room 113 from 6 to 8:30. Attendees will learn about the key criteria used to evaluate potential sites, ask questions and provide input, and continue interacting in the meeting while streaming on a Hawaiian Electric Facebook page from 7 p.m. Kailua Beach Park operating hours. The Department of Parks and Recreation begins a pilot project in September 2025 to modify the operating hours to become 4 a.m. until 12 midnight. This was loosely consented with recommendations from the Kailua Neighborhood Board in 2023 and 2024. Most Oahu beach parks are currently closed from 10 p.m. until 5 a.m. Department of Parks and Recreation has worked with the community and explored and implemented of the nightly closure and has determined these nightly closures are effective and will remain in place. Any closed city park may be traversed at any time, particularly to access the ocean or other natural or cultural significant areas. However, it will be illegal to remain in the park during the closure hours unless otherwise permitted by Parks and Recreation. Which one is that? Does anyone have? On these two? The bicycle grant? Okay. How do they say that? Peditron? What is it? Pentatron. Oahu Pentatron, I guess that's how you say it. The 6th annual will take place on Saturday and Sunday, August 8th and 9th, 2006. The first event is sunrise swimming from Kailua Boat Ramp to Castle's Beach. The second event is a run from Castle Beach to Kailua Regional Ranch, paddling, bicycling, and carrying events continue to surround the island, with the final event being a 66-mile bike ride from, what is it? Kilo Beach Park. Sorry. Back to the Kailua Boat Ramp. If anyone has any questions about this event. Is he here? Do you want to speak to this event?
Can you all hear me? Aloha. My name's Matt Curran. I'm the athlete director for the Oahu Pentathlon. Here today to really just seek the blessing of the Kailua Neighborhood Board and the community to allow us to race for the 6th year in a row from August 8th and August 9th, and to address any concerns. The pentathlon is a 5-stage challenge around the island of Oahu. The distance is 135 miles with a time cap of 24 hours, consisting of swimming, running, paddling, a sandbag carry, and a lot of biking. Athletes are able to complete this as an individual or up to a team of 7. The portion affecting the Kailua neighborhood will be the full swim section and a portion of the run the morning of Saturday, August 8th. And then at the finish line, the evening or the morning of Sunday, August 9th. We estimate about 40 to 50 units of teams and athletes competing, and throughout the course, up to 75 to 100 people at either checkpoint on Saturday morning or Sunday, Saturday morning or Sunday morning for the finish point. We don't anticipate any more than maximum of 25 people there at a time, and based on previous years, all athletes will depart very quickly as they're pretty exhausted. We have submitted permit requests to Parks and Rec, DLNR, DOBAR, and DTS, which are in process now. We are in process of notifying all local businesses, and we'll be posting notices in the neighborhoods at both starting point and transition between swim and run. So at Kailua Boat Ramp area and then at Castles. So kind of quick summarization, the parts that are affecting Kailua itself would be the boat ramp start from 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. And then Castles Beach roughly from 6:30 to 9 as athletes are going to swim that 2.5 mile section and get out. So about 9 a.m. is really when all athletes are out of the water. The run section is then going to be, it's really just the beginning, but that starts at 7 a.m. and most athletes are pretty much out by 10 a.m. So that's really from 5 a.m. to about 10 a.m. that Saturday morning. And then on the finish end, so they're going to go all the way around the island. They're going to finish biking back at Kailua Boat Ramp, and that's going to be from 10 p.m. to 6 a.m. on August 9th. Over the last few years, we've had a few requests from the community and the board that we've added. So for the finish line, just as he addressed, there's kind of that shutdown hours. We typically hire HPD, which we'll do again, and they'll basically just sit there. I want to say up to max 25 people will be there, but again, once they're done with this entire race, they pretty much just pack up and go home. And then for the swim section, we hired Pacific Ocean Patrol to serve as our lifeguards during the swim. Flyers are going to be put up at the race at both beach access points. During our athlete briefing, a few days before the race, we emphasize basically 1 vehicle per team or individual to limit traffic at the start of the race. And then we have support staff and volunteers who are monitoring to make sure all participants abide by traffic laws. Any questions? And yeah.
Any board people with question? Anybody from the public? Okay, well, thank you very much. The Hawaii Department of the Hawaii Department of Transportation is fixing this full spelling error and the additional, hang on, diacritical on the street name to Alelo Hawaii Street name on the state highway. Interesting. Systems across the island. The department is asking the community, especially the General Kaimana and Alelo Hawaii speakers to review the proposed changes and give the place specifically input on the street names by December 31st, 2026. Department of Transportation will use the revised list of Alelo Hawaii street names to replace the street signs over time as they fall in disrepair. Or if there's an opportunity to do so, another Department of Transportation project on the street. Eventually, all street signs on the state highway network will have proper spelling, including the use of Okia and I wasn't born here, folks. Details. Any questions on this? And do we have somebody who wanted to speak to this tonight? Any board questions? Thank you. Okay. Next part of the meeting. HPD. Honolulu Police Department, are you here?
Good evening. I'm Sergeant Mike Krekel, the Night Operations Sergeant for Kailua and Waimanalo. Statistics for the month of March 2026. Motor vehicle thefts, we had 0. For the previous month in February, we had 5. For burglaries in March, we had 2. Previous month, we had 5. Thefts, this past month, we had 18 as opposed to 21 the previous month. UEMVs, unauthorized entry into a motorized vehicle, we had 2 as opposed to 0 in February. And then robberies, no robberies for the month of March as opposed to 1 in February. Addressing the burglaries, the 2 this past month and then 5 the previous month. The suspect in that case, they believe it's the same person, was apprehended and the prosecutors did charge that individual. And then with the thefts, mass majority of those thefts were out of Target. So, and that person is a residentially challenged person, was also arrested and charged. For total calls of service for the month of March, 1,493. As opposed to the previous month, 1,518. Does the board have any questions?
I have one.
Sure.
Can you keep track of how many electric bike incidents? Do you give them a ticket or something when there's 2 riders or 2 riders and a baby? And I see a lot of the electric bike things violating the law.
So with those, you're talking about electric bikes and then as well as electric motorcycles. You would like us to compile some stats on that? I will pass that to my lieutenant.
Thank you. Any questions from the board for the Honolulu Police Department? Any questions from the audience? Thank you very much for your report.
Thank you, Eddie.
Next is the Honolulu Fire Department report.
Good evening. My name is Alan Hackbarth. I'm the captain at the Kailua Fire Station. The statistics for the month of March, if you need any more details on the incidents and related mapping information, you can visit the fire response search tool on the HFD website, fire.honolulu.gov under the news and info tab. If you have any other questions, you can email hfdnhb@honolulu.gov. The incidents, fires, we had 2 structure fires, 4 nuisance fires, 3 cooking fires, and 14 activated alarms, which no fire was present. For emergencies, medical emergencies, we had 111, 4 vehicle crashes, 3 mountain rescues, 3 ocean rescues, and 3 hazardous materials incidents. For our fire safety tip, we're focusing on evacuation planning. Please ensure you have an emergency preparedness plan in place for situations like environmental emergencies, fires, or natural disasters. Familiarize yourself with at least 2 escape routes from your home and plan for an evacuation path if you must leave your neighborhood due to the emergency. For more information, of course, visit fire.honolulu.gov. We emphasize leave early to avoid getting trapped by fire, smoke, or traffic delays. have a predetermined meeting place, like a trusted neighbor or relative's home in a low-risk area, a shelter or evacuation center. Please stay informed, sign up for notifications at hnlalert.gov or social media or other vetted sources. And bring your go bag, which is essential items for your family and pets. This is a subset of all your all hazards 14-day supply kit. For more information and printable checklists, you can visit honolulu.gov/DEM build a kit. Any questions?
Any questions for the Honolulu Fire Department? Donna Wong?
Can you tell us where the 3 rescues were for the ocean and for the mountain?
I do not have the specifics. Personally, I know one of the ocean rescues
Okay.
was off of Kailua Marine Base by Pyramid Rock. One of the mountain rescues, or 2 of the mountain rescues was off the Lanikai Pillbox. And I'm almost certain the other one was at the Likeke Falls Trail for the mountain rescue. As far as the other ocean rescues, I'm not exactly sure. I'll find those out.
Any questions online? Any questions for the fire department from the audience? Thank you, officer, for your report. Next is the Honolulu Ocean Safety Department.
Good evening, board members, community members. My name is Tanner Williams. I'm a lifeguard EMT with the Honolulu City and County Ocean Safety. Brief summary of our District 2 operations as of March 2026 spans from Sandy Beach to Kalama Beach. In March, our crews responded to 2 near drownings, multiple ocean rescues, including a distressed swimmer, kayakers offshore, as well as the boating incident that HFD was talking about outside of Pyramid Rock. We responded to 4 medical/trauma incidents, ranging from difficulty breathing to a spinal incident, public safety and enforcement related responses. We had 8 law enforcement related responses, including fights, vehicles on the beaches, and other hazardous conditions that arise on our beach. We had minimal weather impacts from the Kona lows as far as our operations go. Ocean Safety also deployed additional assets from District 2 to assist with the situation in Wailua. If you have any other questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
Any questions from the board? Wait. You have a question in the public? Could you please come up to the microphone?
She just asked what the status was as far as brown water goes. As far as I'm concerned, last check, the brown water effect is still an advisory for Kailua. As far as anywhere else, I'm not too sure, but you'd be able to check online. Thank you. Yes.
Donna Wong?
Can you tell us why there's a brown water alert by Castles?
I would assume it's due to the runoff out of Kainui Marsh.
So runoff from Oniava Canal?
Exactly, yeah, as well as sediment. As far as the brown water goes, if you take a look at the bay, the water's currents collect towards that direction, as well as from Kailua Bay. As we get north winds that move, the current changes direction and pushes everything from Kailua Bay area towards Castle Point.
So is it leftover? Is it new water flowing in from Kauai Nui or the cesspools that are adjacent to the canal?
I wouldn't be able to answer that appropriately, but I could assume that it is runoff from mountains, et cetera, being pushed out from Kauai Nui into the ocean, as well as sediment, anything kind of heading out that direction. As far as the bacteria and whatnot, that would probably be the environmental side when it comes to Aikahi wastewater.
Okay, thank you.
Of course, thank you for your time.
Wait, there's one more question. Go ahead, Katie.
As far as I'm aware, on the Clean Water dashboard online, it states that there's a brown water advisory currently active for the whole state. I was just wondering though, if the lifeguards do give warnings to people as they're going in the water and let them know that there's still a brown water advisory.
So as far as warnings, if someone comes up, the lifeguards are instructed to give the direction of the brown water. But as far as making like public service announcements or anything like that, we do not.
And you don't have any signs currently to,
We do not have any signs, nor is that our
would you
department.
be, would your department, you can't speak for the full department, but do you think they would be amenable to including a brown water sign, include like as they're putting out all the other signs?
Yeah, as far as our department goes, I work well with the chief. We would have no problem posting those signs if we had them available to us from the directive department.
Just a quick follow-up on that, Mahalo for that. My name is Evan. I chair the Parks Committee of the Neighborhood Board, and we did pass a resolution a little bit ago about a recommendation for kind of enhanced signs at the beaches that we think the lifeguards could be super helpful with. We waited till the new Ocean Safety Division was established, and then we were able to kind of hear recently from the director that he was interested in the idea and was going to look into it. So if you would be able to kind of just run that up the flagpole and see if there, if there's any update on the director's kind of thoughts on our sign proposal from the Kailua Neighborhood Board, which would include brown water advisories, that would be awesome.
Absolutely, I have no problem running that up the chain and seeing what's.
Cool.
What's up.
Any other questions from the community? Any questions online? Thank you very much for your report.
Mahalo for you guys' time.
Before we go on, I skipped one announcement. It wasn't on the sheet here. One of the presentations we were going to have tonight on the Kalaheo Hillside report, whether DHHL was going to continue, the report was not ready for tonight's meeting. We have not heard when they're going to be ready. So if you're here for that issue, it will not be discussed tonight. Thank you. Okay. Next will be the Board of Water Supply. I'm sorry. So should we go on forward up? There she is. Board of Water Supply, did you have a report? She can't hear me. Oh.
Hi, Danielle. If you're trying to talk, we can't hear you.
We'll come around back to her. Marine Corps Base Hawaii representative. No report. Castle Health Center. Thank you for coming tonight.
Absolutely. Just thank you to the board for once again letting us come and share a few things with you guys tonight. And first off, we just want to say thank you to the entire community. Through these last two storms, we totally felt the support that the community provided, and we're just blessed to be able to serve each and every one of you in that. The other thing we want to say about these past storms that we've had, we were very blessed that we were only on emergency power for a handful of hours during one of the storms. And other than that, we were able to stay up and fully operational. And we are currently working on an emergency power assessment plan for the entire hospital in order to keep as many services running as possible. And we hope to be able to bring that back here to this community later this year. On other notes, Adventist Health Castle recently received from Hawaii Business Review for the second year in a row as one of the best places to work in the state. And also noting that we were the only healthcare system to receive that award. And we are just very happy because, this is a community taking care of friends and family and how much that means to everyone in our hospital. But we've also been very much focused on new services and improving access to care. This past December, we were able to get a second CT imaging machine up and running that allows for more advanced imaging in less invasive procedures than that. We've also been able to expand access to primary care, urgent care, OBGYN services, rheumatology. We've actually been able to bring back electrophysiology services back to the hospital and have a new physician starting in that space to help our current physician this summer. We've been working diligently to reduce long wait times in order to see providers, and we are now able to get everyone into primary care within 3 days of needing an appointment. We really look forward to continue for more expansion plans for the hospital and look forward to bringing those here. We've also been diligently working with community partners on helping our psychiatric patients find the right places post-discharge. That's been a discussion we've had here at the board now for quite some time, and we want to ensure, and we've been very thankful that the city and county have been good partners to that, and we're hoping that you guys are seeing the effects of that work. Also, just going on here in the state right now, you've probably all heard of the potential HMSA and HPH partnership. Why I bring this up here tonight is because as a community, you all deserve top quality care, which Castle provides close to home. With a potential partnership like this, it could vastly change the landscape for Hawaii. And we want to make sure that it's done right for everyone who lives here, for this entire community. And so just please know that we are actively monitoring that, making sure that we create a fair and even playing field for all healthcare systems and all payers here in the state. And we look forward to making sure that we're able to provide great services moving forward. Any questions?
I just have one question. You said that the average wait time of primary care is 3 days.
Yeah.
Do you have like an average for specialty care?
It does depend on the specialist, right? Some specialists were able to get in, right within the week. We've got other specialists, I'll be honest, that where you're looking at a month, to potentially 6 weeks, which I know is very frustrating. And we've targeted on those service lines to see how we can continue to expand those.
Donna Wong?
Can you give us an update on your solar project, please?
Great question. We are continuing to move on. We are still on plan. I cannot I want to say that work actually starts potentially later this year or beginning of next year, if I remember correctly. I don't remember that date off the top of my head.
So are you going ahead with the plan that you brought before this board?
Yes.
It's the same plan?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
As far as I know, nothing has changed.
Thank you.
Any other questions from the board? Any questions online? Any questions in the community? Do you have any statistics on how many people from this area was affected by the storm in terms of groundwater or any storm-related diseases or issues?
Not specifically. That data is a little tough to kind of decipher through when we do our diagnosis coding in that. I did not hear of anything major coming through our ER or any of our other services. Not to say that it didn't happen, but no, I don't have exact statistics.
And the hospital infrastructure survived the gusty winds and your roofs and all that worked out?
Survived the winds, found a couple new leaks as you would expect, but we were able to continue to move forward and stay open.
That's really great to hear. Thank you. Go back to the Board of Water. I think the Board of Water Supply is ready to give their report. Daniel, are you there? Probably muted or something. You're gonna send her a chat. Okay.
Can you hear me now?
Go ahead.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Hi, my name is Danielle Ornelas from Board of Water Supply, reporting our monthly report. There was one water main break, 8-inch main break on Hahani Street. And the announcement for the month, detected leak week, April 12th through 18th. Board has partnered with City Mill to observe detected leak week. We're having 2 outreach events. Unfortunately, not on the windward side. April 11th at Mililani Town Center, April 18th at the Kahala Mall. More information available at Board of Water Supply. And then I also had a follow-up response to a couple of questions. Currently, there are no hydrants out of service in the Kailua area, and we have a total of 1,335 Board of Water Supply fire hydrants within the Kailua Neighborhood Board District. And then update another question regarding Kapa'a water tank build. Construction has started, however, they're saying progress of the reservoir is on hold pending availability of a subcontractor. And also pending the removal of a utility pole from Hawaiian Electric. Long-term plan is to build an additional reservoir. We will provide more update as it becomes available. I'm sorry about the audio. Do you have any questions?
Board members, do you have any questions? Online? Anybody in? Bill? Go ahead, Mr. Hicks.
Yeah, aloha, Danny. I think on
Hi.
March 27th, there was also a water main break at Kailua Road and Oloa Street.
Is that the Monowili area? It is, yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Yeah, I don't have that on my statistics. As I was wondering, I thought there were a couple more near my neighborhood as well, but that's all the info that was loaded. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, I got chat messages on it when it happened. I think there were 6 affected customers, but
Oh,
affected
okay.
traffic. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. John White, would you go ahead?
Thank you, Chair. Danny, how are you, sis? Any
How's
update
it?
on the water tank construction?
Oh yeah, the Kapa'a.
On,
There's
on
a
Saddleback,
little,
yeah?
yeah, there is a little delay. They're waiting for a subcontractor, and also for HECO to remove one telephone pole. But right now, what did it? Let me read that part again. Yeah, the building of the actual tank has not started.
Okay, and
It's just a minor delay due to HECO and a permitting issue.
just because I'm asking again is
Mhm.
if we do construct this project, this Hawaiian Homes project, is that taking into account future construction of additional homes in the town?
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I remember this. I will find out. I, I don't, I don't want to answer. I'm not sure. I will find out.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. Appreciate you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Aloha.
Any other questions online for Board of Water Supply? Thank you, Danielle.
Thank you. Good night.
Okay, the next part of the meeting is residential and community concerns. Each person will have to come up to the microphone and you have 3 minutes to state your issue. Is there anyone going to come up? Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Malia Spinda. And this is my initial mahalo for what has been a successful week. Over a year ago, I approached Member Weber to help me to fix up Kealapula Mini or Triangle Park with really one goal that Keiki to Kupuna can walk on that park again barefooted. And, you know, it's taken a bit, but we had a very successful community engagement meeting in my home. About, I'd say 40 people from around the 3 streets did come to attend. It was successful, it was engaged, it was respectful, it was an hour. So I just want to do a quick laundry list of mahalos because we do have initial starts. Kiewit is there. They have brought tractors. There is a very large pile of dirt there now. So far, so good. I do have one neighbor who's not so happy with the amount of dirt flying into her house, but otherwise, some success is happening in that park. And so I'm grateful. And so to begin, I just want to say thank you, mahalo to Councilmember Kiaina, who really in that meeting showed people came out impressed. Like she showed a lot of, and I didn't know you're so green thumbed, but she was very passionate. To Member Evan Weber, thank you for supporting. Chair Hicks, John White, I hear you. You've been very passionate and supportive. Thank you. And Donna, thank you for tolerating those emails. And Kalama Souza, who lives right in the proximity. But I really want to also mahalo the city, Kelly Akasaki, who is the lead, who has taken the brunt of this, but also in attendance in that, and she's now, has been really responsive to our community. Deputy Director of the DTS, Lee, Department of Parks also was there with Jason and Eldon. And also mahalo to the directors and to Managing Director Formby. So I just wanted to mahalo and come out publicly and thank everybody for helping me help that little park. Thank you.
Thank you. John, you have something you want to say?
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Sis, round of applause to you for keeping up the good fight. Good example of what we got to do in our communities.
Yeah, I want to
I'm happy to hear that. I'm happy to hear that. And told you guys, I talked to him.
So did we all. So thank you, John.
Roger.
Yeah, and I just want to echo what John said. Moya, you've been an incredible advocate for your community. And unfortunately, that's sometimes what it takes to get the bare basic things to happen. But as a neighborhood board, it's been our honor to support you in being a liaison between the various city departments. And we're grateful that the city is in a position to act and support you as well.
Thank you. I will say the grass is, there's still some issues. So if, we'll be back if it's not exactly.
And we'll be there with you. And so will the city.
All right. Thanks so much.
I'll talk to him again this week for you, sis.
Thank you.
Bill Hicks, please.
Yes, I'd just like to add additional mahalo for Malia for being so dedicated. You're put a lot of time and effort in on projects, and you're spot on your analysis of the situation and recommendations, and you really continue to ride this Bronco to the point where we are hopeful that that we're going to have an improved park at the end of the process. It continues to bear watching, but I think that everyone is enthusiastically trying to do the best possible effort for this. But all thanks to you for not letting this get buried in the bureaucracy. So mahalo.
Mahalo. Thank you, Chair Hicks. Parks are important for our community, for our mental health, for our keiki, and our kupuna. So thank you, everybody. And thank you.
Thank you. Go ahead.
Belina Kealoha Kako. My name is Kira Downing. I'm a resident of Manoa, and I'm here tonight on behalf of Chick-fil-A Hawaii as a local consultant. Some of you might have seen the news in the last couple of days, but Chick-fil-A opened its 5th location earlier today on Oahu, and it's 6th in the state. And as part of our grand opening festivities, they donated $25,000 to the Food Bank of Hawaii and awarded 28 scholarships to team members pursuing higher education, totaling $60,000. So just big week for us. But the reason why I'm here tonight is to share a little bit about an upcoming site that we're exploring in Kailua. Originally, we had planned, we wanted to present and get on the agenda, and I know you have a full one tonight. So just wanted to give a quick introduction, and we look forward to coming back at a later date to share more information. But in the meantime, I wanted to just, let you know that we're exploring a site. It's on the corner of Hamakua and Hahani Street. It would be a drive-through only with a walk-up window and some patio seating. We're currently in the due diligence phase, so that includes feasibility studies, environmental assessments, and we're trying to determine, what the design will look like ultimately. But so as part of that other phase, we also later this month, you might be seeing some trenching and excavation work. And that's all in accordance with our archaeological fieldwork plan, which has been approved and vetted and pretty much organized in consultation with the Kailua cultural descendants. And so that will happen later this month. We also have and not only that, but it has also been approved by the State Historic Preservation Division as well. So that plan has been vetted. You'll see some due diligence work happening on that site. We've also engaged a local traffic consultant that will be studying the traffic conditions, peak traffic volumes, vehicle capacity, and site access to ultimately help us determine and understand what the design and layout around the property could look like. And so looking ahead, it's a long process. We probably wouldn't, if all goes as planned and this is what we ultimately end up doing, it'd be another 3 years before construction could begin. So we have a lot of time to consult with community, to listen and learn. We have to do an environmental assessment, as I mentioned earlier, as well as a special management area major permit because we're next to the Kainui Marsh. So there'll be lots of opportunity for public engagement and process at that time. But just wanted to introduce ourselves tonight and look forward to coming back at a future meeting.
We would like to refer you to the Planning and Zoning Committee. If you'd like to speak to Donna Wong, she's our chair of
The chair.
committee.
Okay,
It would be
great.
very, very important for you to do that.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I couldn't hear. You said Hamakua and Hahani?
Yeah.
Okay, so that's like the Midas spot
Yes,
now?
exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Across. Mhm. I should have mentioned it's 4 parcels. They total about an acre for those 4 parcels by Midas.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
When you say exploring the site, does that mean there's like a lease in place or a purchase or like
No
what?
permits have been executed. Where obviously there's a lease with Alexander Baldwin, the landowner, to explore, but still in the early phases. So
Go ahead, Kelly.
I was just wondering if you're really set on that location, or is it like potential for you guys to look at other spots in Kailua?
do you have any in mind?
Not off the top of my head. I'm sure the community might have more opinions than me, but I can kind of already see that might have some conflicts thinking about like the traffic flow. I know you said you guys are gonna hire like a traffic surveyor or something, but I don't know. I do see that there could be conflict there. So I was just wondering if you guys have looked at other sites or is it like just this site or nothing?
Sure. I can't speak to that. That would be part of the real estate team as part of Chick-fil-A Inc. But we are doing our due diligence. We know that traffic and safety are top concerns for the community. We know Chick-fil-A's can be popular and, with that comes, lots of activity. So we're mindful of that and definitely want to be good neighbors and do what we can to mitigate any of those concerns. So more to come, I guess.
Any other questions?
To follow up
Kelly?
on that, is there a possibility of Chick-fil-A like contributing to traffic improvements? Because I know businesses have done that in the past. Notably, Wendy's did not, and it's been a huge burden on the community. So
Sure.
is that?
I know,
like a
I mean, I
policy?
know they are definitely working with DPP and the traffic review branch, and they have to submit a traffic mitigation plan, and all of that has to be approved and in coordination with the governing entities.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I think the concern is that is a very like busy, that's a heavy area. Have you guys taken a look at like Aikahi Shopping Center? There's some empty spaces in that. It's less traffic. It's a little bit more out of the way, not in kind of like in the middle of Kailua. Yeah.
I don't have that information, but as far as what other sites they've looked at, I do not know.
Not
But thank you for raising those, concerns about the.
Any more questions from the board? Any questions online?
I guess just to what extent should if the Kailua Neighborhood Board receives concerns or questions from the community, particularly about the location or the traffic, to what extent should Alexander and Baldwin be kind of engaged in those conversations about leasing sites? And should they, I guess to the extent that you can answer that.
We talk every week and we're in close coordination with Alexander Baldwin.
Any questions online? Any questions from the community? If you would see Donna Wong, I think she's going to give you a card.
Great.
And you can come to that meeting for planning and zoning.
Okay, perfect.
Thank
I
you.
can send a follow-up email to the board as well. We can connect that way too. Okay.
Thank you.
Mahalo nui.
Anybody else? Up, come on up to the mic.
Aloha kako. My name is Kahala Kole. I hadn't really intended to speak at all this evening, but I'm co-founder of Holo Holo Espresso and Chick-fil-A and we have a lot going on. We have a new location. It's going to open next week in Kailua Shopping Center. And I don't know if anybody's familiar with this, but we're a drive-through espresso business that started on Ku'ule, and it's been fantastic. We feel like the community has really supported us and accepted us, and really helped to make Holo Holo Espresso a success. And so I really want to say thank you for that. And we went from just a little tent. We started with a tent on Ku'ule, and now we've grown. We have 4 locations total, and kind of from that, and we just want to be also a good neighbor, or we want to be a good neighbor to everybody. And just through what I just heard from Chick-fil-A, it made me realize that there might be some things that we should be addressing or want to put more at the forefront. So again, I didn't plan on speaking, but I did want to say thank you for the Windward community for supporting us, and that's all I got. Any questions? Yeah, right on.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, we'll move on. Wait. Oh,
My name's Randall Hugh. In 2021, I had my property surveyed, and I discovered that my lot was smaller than the deed had stated in the tax map. My lot is in the deed 10,356 square feet. But the survey said it was 8855. So I reported that to the real property tax. And they said, well, we can't change your deed. We can't change the lot size. That has to be done by the original owner. And that original owner is Bishop Estate. I discovered that Enchanted Lakes has 3,515 lots that were developed from 1958 to 1970. 137 lots are around Kailua Pond, and I'm one of them. The 137 lots are subject to Enchanted Lake Resident Association declaration that states that all those residents have to pay a maintenance fee annually to keep the lake clean. And if they don't pay, the Enchanted Lakes Resident Association can put a lien on that property owner. They're my neighbors. So I've had a dispute with my neighbors because I own the fee simple interest on my lot. And they're saying that Bishop Estate gave them the authority to put a lien on my property if I don't pay a maintenance fee. And I said, I don't think that's legal. Anyway, I come to the board because I can't seem to resolve this issue with my neighbor. And so I'd like your assistance. I hope you can help me. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'm going to turn your, oh, Kellyanne, go ahead.
I was wondering, so it sounded like from your story, you've reached out to the tax agency and then they said to contact the original, the owners,
Yes.
did you contact them? That was Bishop Estate,
Yes,
you
I
said?
did.
Did they give you any guidance?
They said I should sue them.
Have you consulted an attorney by chance?
Who's going to sue Bishop Estate when they earn $1 billion a year?
Okay.
Who
thank
has
you.
that kind of financial capacity?
Yeah. Okay, thank you.
But I left you a folder, and the folder will outline a legal strategy because I believe they recorded a document that's illegal. They recorded a false declaration at the Bureau of Conveyance. And a long time ago, a lawyer told me you can't record an illegal fraudulent document at the Bureau of Conveyance. Anyway, thank you.
When Mr. Hicks returns, I'll turn the binder over to him, okay?
Thank you.
And he can decide the next action, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else for community concerns? Nope. Okay, next on the agenda is the mayor's representative.
Everyone, can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Okay. Hi, Shane Enright here for the mayor. This mayor's newsletter, there's a lot in there, so please take a look. As you mentioned, the 2026 town hall meetings. There's more information about the annual food drive for the Hawaii Food Bank and more on if you're interested in putting in your input on the next Honolulu police chief. 3 issues that were brought up in the last meeting that I would like to address. One was the houseless individual at the Kailua District Park. Honolulu Police Department and Corps have made numerous attempts to help this individual, but he just isn't taking any of us. I've actually gone to him personally up on our offers. So there is a plan to continue to reach out to him. But if anybody has any, if he does anything criminally, please report it to 911. But there's no avenue, you can't arrest him. He's allowed to be there at the park. The other issue was a tent or canopy type setup at Kailua Beach Park. The employees of the Parks Department did go to that gentleman and ask him to remove the sides of the canopy. He did so. He apologized. And again, he is allowed to do that. There are the hours now, and I believe he has to pick up and exit the park, but he is allowed to come and go back into the park when the park reopens. And the third issue that was brought up was on Hualani Street. I believe a resident was asking if E&V, the trash collectors, could come down a smaller lane. They did check it out, but unfortunately, because of the size of the lane and having to turn around the vehicle and come in and out, it was determined that it wasn't able to do so safely. So unfortunately, the residents on that lane on Hualani need to continue to bring their trash cans out onto the main road. And of course, the city continues to respond to the recovery efforts due to the Kona low storms. There is a major website that was it's updated daily, almost hourly. It's oahu.org. If you need any information or tips, I know it's a different community, but I'm sure some of you have friends and family up there are looking for ways to assist. And also there's a lot of important information on parks and gymnasiums that are still impacted and being used as places for clinics, supply distribution centers and such that you may just want to know before going out to certain areas. And that's all I have, and here for any questions.
Any questions from the board? Any questions online? Okay, then I have a question. It's really a statement. Kapaa Quarry Road, my favorite road, was
Yes, sir.
closed during the storm. And once again, the reason is that it flooded. And also the transfer station was closed because the trucks couldn't get through the flooded water and the city had to close the road. So one of the most crucial assets to have during a storm period is to get rid of your green waste and your debris and what else. And we couldn't do that. Also, the industrial park has a lot of contractors in it that wanted to get out or get in to get their tools to repair people's properties here in Kailua, and they couldn't get to their sites or their equipment because the road was closed. So I think it's really time that we finally do something to fix the streams on both sides of the road that the city is supposed to be responsible for. And I shouldn't have to ask the state to do the same. I would like the city to coordinate with the state and clean the 2 streams out so the water will run off the road properly. Thank you.
Understood. Thank you.
Next, Governor Green's representative in person today. And smiling.
It's early. I get to give my report at 8:10 instead of 9:50. Hi, Erin Connor Jerome on behalf of Governor Green this evening. I did bring Governor's April newsletter that's on the table behind me, as well as in the Google documents online for the board meeting tonight. I didn't have any follow-up questions from last month, but I do just want to say, similar to Shane's report, HIEMA, Hawaii Emergency Management Agency, also has a website for storm recovery efforts, ready.hawaii.gov. And I don't know if you guys have seen the news yet, but it looks like we may be getting another storm approaching the islands next week, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So just the storms aren't over yet. We want to make sure everyone is prepared and safe and ready. So just keep an eye out for that as it probably will approach next week. So I'm able to take any questions you may have.
I have a question. Maybe the governor should start like a blue ribbon committee or something and reevaluate the entire situation of every department in the state that had something to do with the storm, and then formulate maybe a new plan to, not have issues of the dam and all of the North Shore and roads closed and vegetation not being removed and all those things that prevents water from leaving quickly, especially on the roads where storm drains haven't been cleaned in years, and streams that the amount of garbage that I saw on all the movies I watched was unbelievable. And now you can go out to Central Oahu Park and see it all. So I think the time has come for the state to take a position to evaluate their whole situation, maybe come up with a study of how things could improve. Just my thinking. Any other board member have a question? John White?
Thank you, Chair. I guess along those lines of all this massive water that we just had, just wanted to voice to the opinion to the gov that we do not want a landfill in Kailua. I know that was a heavy topic recently, but we got to protect our conservation land right there. I think that's way too close, the proposed site. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just wondering if there's like, on any of these websites for recovery, if there's any like listings of available units for people that need to move and transition into other apartments or housing or furnished locations. I know there's all the stuff that you can find. I was just curious if like the government had pulled anything together.
I do believe the state has coordinated with Schofield Barracks to make some housing units available for Wailua and Haleiwa residents. I'm sure there are other areas, but I will find out if there's more information I can share.
And I think I was more thinking like private landowners or anybody, just like what's available right now in that might be a big ask. I don't know, but.
Anyone else? I would like to compliment the governor, though. All the speeches that he did on TV or on the internet were very informative. Evan?
Yeah, just to answer your question, HIEMA has housing as one of the first things on its website that Aaron just named. So ready.hawaii.gov. If you're in need of housing, there's some links to request it right there.
Just, yeah.
Okay. Got something more to say?
I was talking about, I think I was looking into different types of housing beyond just what they have listed there, but I can, yeah, it's okay.
Anyone else? Any questions for the governor's representative? Anybody from the community? Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Have a wonderful weekend. Okay. Where are we? Councilmember Esther Kiana.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to narrowly tailor my comments to the budget. But before I go into some details, I just want to say with regard to the recovery efforts, as you know, the governor, all of the mayors, as well as the Hawaii congressional delegation are working collaboratively together to figure out how to leverage resources and work with the private sector as well as our nonprofit organizations to get out relief funding. For the mayor, of course, we are in the throes of the budget. They're looking to tap the Fiscal Stability Fund or the Rainy Day Fund. And I think they are doing an assessment of impacts in various sectors, of course, not just impacted families and businesses, but also our farmers. And so once that is done, I think we're going to make a determination on whether to tap the fund for that or to use other resources within our upcoming budget. Specifically, as it pertains to Kailua, it should come as no surprise that the majority of significant funding is relating to CIP projects. 62.2 million for Kailua wastewater treatment plant improvements, 11 million for Kapa'a transfer station renovation, 100,000 for Maunawili wastewater pump station, and of course, the continuation of development at the Kailua Beach Park boat ramp. With regard to funds that I tried to secure, because the mayor has streamlined funding, and I understand that I didn't go overboard because we already have a lot of CIP projects. So first and foremost, because the Department of Transportation Services was unable to secure the 500,000 in the mayor's budget, I was successful most recently in the budget committee to put the 500,000 in. I would have preferred that I was before you today to said I had 700,000 because my idea was to add 200,000 to their 500. It would have been very difficult for me to secure 700 total on my own. Also, with regard to speed bumps, I put funds in only for streets where there was an assessment by the Department of Transportation Services. As it relates to Kailua, they recommended speed bump improvements at Kaha and Kaipi'i Street. I am going to ask for the kokua of both the chair, the board, as well as Jade Lau. I have provided the petition from certain members in the community, and they have not started or secured the requisite 90% of the people in the neighborhood needed. So I'm doing a kahea, and the reason for that is because I'm putting money in so that DTS cannot say after the petition is done that we need money. And I think, and there's lastly $2 million in grants and aid. I'm trying to increase the overall funding so more nonprofits can get money. And that's my report. Any questions?
John White, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Sis, how are you?
Good.
Thank you for all your hard work. I like to hear that about the allocation for the speed bumps. I've brought it up years and years ago. Every park and all schools deserve speed bumps. They deserve them because that's where our kids are when they're at school. When they're done with school, they go to the parks to practice. Let's protect the keiki. Let's throw the money at keeping them safe. Appreciate you as always.
Thank you. And so I need to let you know, just to comment on that, while I talked about specific speed bumps that were requested by neighborhoods, the Department of Transportation Services, I had secured money for the implementation of the lowering of speed, the signs at all of the school areas. So we prioritize for the windward side and they're in the implementation. The idea about the parks, I think might take a little more work, but I appreciate your vigilance to hold us accountable in the safety of our keiki.
Donna Wong.
There was a sewage spill in Nu'upia Ponds, and do you know whether it came from the Marine Base plant or if it was from Aikahi?
You know, I don't believe it came from the Marine Corps base, but if you don't mind, I will get you an answer, and early next week, we will disseminate it to you directly.
Okay, thank you.
Jennifer Barr, go ahead.
Hi, I had a question about what you're talking about, the speed bumps. Um, so are you saying that whenever DTS puts speed bumps in, that the community on that street is 90% in favor? I guess I'm concerned because Kaha Street is a very busy street, and all of the streets around Kaha have gotten speed bumps. And I find it hard to believe that those streets around there all got that participation. And now that finally something's being done about Kaha Street, that the community needs to get the 90%. So can you explain that a little better?
Yes, so I have to tell you that first, there's a process. So first, DTS has to go out and do an assessment. They have concluded that speed bumps are warranted. So I have a map on the proposed speed bumps for this area. This would be Kaha and Kaipi'i Street. And I sent it several months ago to some community members who asked for an assessment, and they need to get a petition and get 90% of the delineated address onto it. So I'm flagging it for the board for two reasons. Number one, there's been no movement on the petition. Number two, just based on my experience, this is my 6th year, right? I'm only in for 8 years. And so I just know the way it goes. Once we get the requisite number, oftentimes nothing happens because there's no money. So I kind of am being proactive. If we don't get the numbers, then this money is going to be pulled out of the budget. I do know that the department came and they didn't know that fact, but I feel that this is what I'm supposed to be doing in fighting for my community. I'm being proactive.
No, I totally understand that, but I guess my question is, so when DTS puts in speed bumps, they have to get that 90%? That's my
correct.
question. So
Yes.
all the speed bumps that have been put in by DTS have gotten 90% of the residents around it have agreed to it.
That's supposed to have happened because they wouldn't move forward. And so when I say that, it would be the requisite 90% of the addresses that they provide as part of the petition.
Okay.
So if you're concerned about a specific area, like Kalama Street was one that was recently, they instituted some speed bumps, please reach out to me and then we will find out a little more information.
Okay, thank you.
Kate Ryder.
I have a question about the assessment from DTS because I had requested one for my street. It's Ulupi'i, between Kalanianiole and the high school. And they said, oh, most cars are at the speed limit, but the problem is that there's the high school there. And so the students speed on their way in and the way out. And it's been a problem for years, and there's like a no right-hand turn, but it's never enforced. And so people also cut through our neighborhood. And I feel like it's because the high schoolers and the elementary school kids are walking along that street in the mornings. I feel like if you have a couple cars that are going like 50 miles an hour down a residential street, that should matter more than the average. So is there a way to
Can I ask specifically, did you get denied?
I got denied, yeah.
Oh, okay. Did we work in tandem? Because I get so many requests, I can't keep track. Did my office put in a request or anything, or was it just you?
It was just me. So at the request of my neighbors.
So this is what I can do if you don't mind.
Oh, yeah.
Do you mind us talking story?
Yeah.
What I could ask is just if things have changed, but also I can put in my own request and better understand the circumstances.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Any other questions? Steve? Oh, Jade, go ahead.
Hi, Esther. Thanks for all you do. Do we have an update on the no parking signs at the entrance of Kaha Park? Or not, of the Marsh Park on the little tiny stretch of Kaha?
You know, I do not. Gloria, can you just make sure that we follow up but I know that request went in. I do know that with regard to the dog park itself, we are working out the details to likely move it forward with the funding.
Okay,
So that's something I'm working out with Laura, the team. So good question. I got a follow up. I don't have an answer for that.
my concern is that that intersection right there at certain times of the day, that is a racetrack intersection.
Yeah.
And just this past weekend, I almost got hit on my bike because a car came flying through
Yeah.
that. There is an awkward turn that DTS or somebody needs to look at because cars come out and it's totally blind. They don't think they need to stop.
Yeah.
It's just a hot.
So
mess.
what I will do is this, since, we all have a small pot of money and I'm being asked to take out the fencing funds for that. I will tell them that you cannot be doing that without taking care of that because you're going to have an influx of people going to the dog park. Not just people who live in the community, but people are going to hear about it.
Thank you, Esther.
You're welcome.
Okay.
Since it came up, I'll just pile on. Yeah, I mean, when we've engaged the residents of that community around their concerns around the activity in the park, the no parking sign was one of the major issues. The state of the parking lot was the other. I think that might be more of a DPR concern, but then in addition to the no parking signs, I know there's been talk about turning that into a four-way stop for a long time, and that's what causes a lot of the safety issues there. So I don't know how that relates to the whole.
That's news to me. Do you want a four-way stop?
That is my
That's a
understanding.
very specific request. You need to be specific. So
That is my understanding that the residents would prefer a four-way stop there.
no, but I don't know if that's what I put in. I believe I put in the parking. I don't believe I put in the four-way stop request. So we'll do that as well.
Thank you, Esther.
Thank you.
Representative Lisa Martin. Online.
Aloha, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Great. Okay. So it's a busy time at the Capitol, right? We finished crossover and now we're hearing the Senate bills on the House side and they're hearing our bills, or we hope they're hearing our bills. But today I had a really nice event. We were able to honor somebody on the floor once a session and from our community that has a statewide, nationwide, or international impact. We're not allowed to focus on local ones. So I invited Kumu Earl Kava'a, who is an Enchanted Lake resident that has done a lot of things over his long life. But one of the things that is pretty cool is he has instituted a program to get a board and stone in every home. And he has been training, I think he's done well over 10,000 people and families to carve their own board and stone at the same time as kind of focusing their family while they make it together on Hawaiian cultural practices. And so that's a pretty cool project. And we had the ability to honor him today. I bring this up in part because I'd like to come up with someone great again for next year. So if you know someone from my district that has an impact beyond our district, but statewide, please let me know. For crossover, I was pretty happy to get a bunch of bills through the House. At this point, we don't know what will happen in the end, but at least the conversation is going. A bill that I'm particularly excited about is when to create a single portal for Hawaii residents to access all state benefits across the different departments so they can apply once, upload information once, instead of doing it multiple times, because the people needing the benefits are probably those that are least skilled at organizing all that. On the environmental side, I had a ban for PFAS, or the forever chemicals, and a new financial tool for our state to develop habitat for protected species. and a whole bunch of health and human services ones because that is my job there. I wanted to mention one bill that came from a community resident who happens to have the same name as a board member, Kate Ryder, but with a D. And she was very concerned with towing practices at Ala Moana Beach Park, where she likes to surf. And thinking about it, we have really predatory towing practices across our state lots. And that's something that I'd heard about in the past. So we have an initiative to try to get those under control. Anyways, if anybody is interested in what is moving in the legislature, I'm happy to share that. Happy to share that some things that I opposed have died in the legislature. One was to allow tiny lots in all residential areas, which is something we had to fight last year. And then also, I feel like I'm competing with someone online that has their mic on. But another one is to get rid of minimum parking mandates, including in all residential areas, not ban the city from having minimum parking mandates. So that's another one that fortunately died. With that, I'm open to any, I just want to mention one more thing. I had talked about the CRB events that were planned. We've had our first CRB prevention tool distribution event in Kailua, around 100 people, which was fantastic. We had another one in Waimanalo, also well attended. And we're able to distribute free traps, free netting, provide education. And at any time, people who did not attend that event can still get the benefits. I'm going to post right now in the chat. You can go to the website. This is a project that I asked to be funded. And so I'd like people to take advantage of it. It's crbhawaii.org/community. And there you can literally fill out a form asking for supplies and they will drop them off. With that, I'm open to any questions.
Any questions from the board for Lisa Martin? Any questions online? Anybody from the community? Thank you very much, Lisa.
Thank you.
Representative Mike Lee.
Hello, everyone. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, awesome. My name is Jonah McNear, and I'm speaking on behalf of Representative Mike Lee as his legislative committee clerk. We are excited that the new legislative session has been churning along. We sincerely appreciate the residents of Kailua and their input regarding community concerns and legislative issues. We appreciate the contributions that they have made to bills and how they have made their voices heard. As we emerge from the heavy rains and winds of the recent Kona low systems, Representative Lee asked me to express his deepest gratitude for the incredible resilience you have shown. It has been a difficult stretch for our district, but seeing the way neighbors have stepped up to clear debris, share resources during outages, and check in on one another has been a powerful reminder of what makes this community special. Since then, our office's primary focus has been on recovery and ensuring our infrastructure is restored as quickly as possible. We are working closely with state and county agencies to address lingering damage and utility concerns. Secondly, we are more than halfway through the legislative session, and House bills have already passed the House chamber and are now being considered in the Senate chamber. Representative Lee has been taking charge of the Labor Committee, and there are several bills that he has co-introduced and is trying to get through the Senate. These include HB 2021, which would ensure e-bike rider and pedestrian safety by enacting safety rules, including age limits, helmets, and operating restrictions. HB 2361, which would strengthen the Kaneohe Bay Regional Council's ability to fulfill its important advisory role in ensuring the sustainable use of Kaneohe Bay, and HB 1588, which will help reduce noise pollution on Hawaii's roadways, including H3, by establishing a noise detection program. Finally, I have the honor to announce that Representative Lee has been nominated for the Melissa Hortman Emerging Leaders Program as Hawaii's representative. This is an incredible opportunity to represent Hawaii on the national stage, and he is deeply grateful for being nominated for this prestigious position. And that concludes my official report, and our office is open to any questions. Mahalo.
Thank you very much. Any questions for Mike Lee's representative? Any questions online? Any questions in the audience? Okay. Representative Scott. He's not here. Senator Jarrett. Senator Chris Lee. Jill Takuta's representative. She's not on. She's online.
Hi, aloha.
You have the floor.
Good evening. Good evening, Chair. I see that he's online, and to the board and community, thank you for the opportunity. I guess we've submitted our board report for the month of April, and Chair Hicks has added that to the materials for the month. But I think I will just touch on a few things I think that are more relevant to the community, especially regarding the recovery efforts following the Kona low storms. So for now, Representative Takuta was able to tour the Wailua North Shore area following the second storm the very next day, witness the debris, the damage, and is really is in touch currently with the state and city on recovery efforts, and especially looking at maybe some of the federal lands that are under federal jurisdiction as far as clearing some of that, some of the debris that you mentioned in the meeting earlier today. So we're looking at some of that, some of those ways on how we can assist as of now is looking at lands that are under federal jurisdiction that maybe we can assist on clearing out some of the debris in those properties to help with the flow, because as we know, there will be more storms in the future. As of right now, the support that we can offer, the Representative Takuta has joined with the Hawaii Congressional Delegation in supporting Governor Green's request for the major disaster declaration from the president in order to release those federal funds for more support for our communities. And until then, for now, we've joined the efforts as far as being present at the city's Recovery Assistance Center in Wailua, where we'll be present every Tuesday for now, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. And we'll be there on the ground for now, really just trying to assist any community members who may have lost federal documents in the flood, or if you're just in general need any assistance or have any questions, like a U.S. passport, Social Security cards, IRS documents, anything along those lines that we can assist with, we'll be on the ground there, at least for now, once a week on Tuesdays from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Oh, I'm so sorry. In the chat, I shared just a bit more information about that as far as being present on the ground in Wailua. And the second link there, I know there was a question about any residences, and I know it was already shared in advance, but at least from the federal side, to our knowledge for now, Schofield has opened up some residences on the base for community members in that area. And if there are any more that do open up that we can assist with, we'll share that out as soon as possible. And that's from the federal side. Again, we also do convey and thank the community for stepping in and doing everything that they've done and continue to do to support their neighbors. But that's my report for tonight. And if there are any questions, I'm available to take them. My email address is also available on the chat there. And I will be on the ground most likely next week, Tuesday in Wailua. So I hope if anyone does have any questions in general or is looking to recover any of those documents or may know anyone in the area that has any needs for that, please come see us. We'll be there on the ground, as well as being able to assist online. Thank you.
Kelly, go ahead.
Hi, I had a question for Representative Tokuta's office. I was just wanted first to share that I think right now in Hawaii, there's an impact of what's happening in like the international and federal landscape where residents are seeing incredible increases that in gas prices. And I know we shouldn't be necessarily reliant on gas as um, fossil fuels, but in Hawaii, that's just the reality of where we live. A lot of people are remote and they need to rely on gas in their vehicles. And there's just been a lot of people struggling this week and probably beyond and continue to struggle because of the very big increase in gas prices. And I think that a lot of it is due to what's happening internationally and at the national level. So I'd like to request that, whatever can be done to support us and assist us in this issue, Representative Takuta's office, work with the rest of our congressional delegation to help us out. Thanks.
I will do. Thank you for sharing that.
Any other questions? Go ahead.
Yeah, mahalo so much for being with us. And I just wanted to mahalo Rep Takuda and your office for everything you've been doing to try to advocate and show up for the communities impacted by the recent storms. I did have a question about that. Your office put out a resource today that was a little bit confusing. I've been very involved in the relief efforts, and we've also been advocating for the federal disaster declaration. Your office put out a resource about some of the different resources that are available, and it included FEMA assistance. But my understanding is, given that there is no federal disaster declaration, FEMA assistance is not available. So we've been remiss to want to share that around. So I was just wondering if you could clarify, is that in the event that a federal disaster declaration occurs, people can access those resources, or am I missing something?
No, you're absolutely right. I think what Representative Takuda is hoping to do is to prepare in advance, and on site in Wailua, we've had that question also come up, and I think we're hoping to prepare in advance so that when the funds are released, because they will be released, we're hopeful that we can start addressing people's needs right away, as far as getting privacy release forms signed by those who need that assistance and getting that in place with our FEMA colleagues. But as of right now, at least to my knowledge, we don't have at least FEMA funds released for the Kona Low storms recovery efforts as of right now. So I'll follow up though regarding what was released, because I'm sorry, I did not know that as well.
I'm glad you're hopeful. Hopefully you know something I don't. I'm not as hopeful as you are, but yeah, it just was a little bit confusing to folks to kind of see that out there. So maybe that's feedback. Thank you guys for everything you're doing, though.
Thank you. Thank you for that. And I'll follow up on that and get an answer to you.
Any other questions? Any questions online? Any questions on the audience? Okay, we'll move on. Senator Chris Lee. Oh, I was just checking again. Okay. Reports from members who attended other meetings. Any reports? Anything online? Okay. So we have some presentations tonight. Each presentation will be about 10 minutes. The first one, there was canceled. So we're going to move into the food waste. Go ahead.
Good evening, Henry Gabriel, City and County of Honolulu, Department of Environmental Services, Refuse Division. I'm here to give a presentation on our new program, GROW. green recycling organic waste, and we are going to be, or we started collecting food waste as of April 1st. The original date for this presentation was February 5th, but due to electrical issues, we had to reschedule. Next slide, please. So purpose of this presentation is just really to introduce, promote, and educate food waste recycling within your green composting cart. This will provide an overview of the program for those that are in the piloted area. And we just have to make sure that we're focusing only on those areas that are in the pilot program, and Kailua is one of them. Next slide. So what is changing? We are going to start collecting food waste in your green compost cart, along with green waste. For whom? Once again, it started April 1st, 2026. Waipahu, Nanakuli, Hawaii Kai, Mililani, Kailua, and Kalihi are all in this piloted program. That doesn't mean that you can't participate. We are just focused on these areas so we can look at frequency, we can look at contamination, participation. That way we can better our educational approach. Next slide, please. And these are the food types of food scraps that we will be accepting in the green composting cart. It's a very extensive list. Fruits, vegetables, dairy products, solids and semi-solids, breads, baked goods, pasta, rice, green, and cereals, beans, nuts, and seeds, meat, seafood, poultry, and bones, any size bones, eggshells, nutshells, seafood, leftover spoiled food, table scraps, plate scrapings, and then loose coffee grounds and tea leaf grounds, along with your normal green waste material. So we really want to divert as much organic material from entering the waste stream. Next slide. And these are the things that we don't want. Now, some of it may be obvious, but Hawaiian Earth Recycling is our contractor for this, this endeavor. And there are representatives here, and they can attest to this. They do see dirt, rock, bricks, and plant pots. They do see everything from a tire to blankets at their facility because people are utilizing the green compost cart as overflow for their gray bin. For this program, we don't want liquids. So any type of liquids, all we ask is you pour it down the drain and recycle your container. Paper and paper products, coffee cups, fast food wrappers and packaging. We don't want any type of paper products in with this program. Plastic, metal, and glass, these are your containers. We would prefer those items be recycled, not just tossed into the green composting cart. We just want the food waste. Fat, oil, and grease. Once again, we would prefer it to be absorbed, thrown in your trash, and then we'll burn it at H-Power Waste to Energy. Manufactured compostable material. It is part of the ordinance to accept this as a collection item, but we are working with the Department of Health. We also are working with Hawaiian Earth because we do not want to introduce a compost that has PFAS. And so we put this one on hold. We're still gonna pursue it, but it may take some time before we add it to the collection program. Pet waste, it's not food waste, so we don't want any of that. And once again, dirt, rock, bricks, and plant pots. That's not food waste as well. Next slide. So how will residents participate? So you kitchen container, reusable bags, you can repurpose a container. We've had workshops already. I think we had one for Kailua. And for those that attended the workshop, we will be providing a kitchen container and reusable bags. We didn't receive them yet, but for those that want one, they can contact our office and we can accommodate. To minimize odors, sprinkle with baking soda or coffee grounds. One really big key to all of this is layering. So as you're putting food waste in loose, no plastic bags, no compostable bags, as you're putting it in loose, you layer it with green waste. Just make sure your lid is closed. That will also deter any types of pests. Once again, no bags. We do not want any bags. I can't stress that enough. If you've ever been to Hawaiian Earth, you'll see bags and bags and bags, and they do have staff that's cutting it open. And then It could be green waste or it could be something else. So please put it in loose. Next slide, please. Residents can go to Hawaiian Earth Recycling. They're in Wahiawa, 6 Wilikina Drive. You can similar to Kapa'a Transfer Station. You can drop off 2 loads of green waste and food waste and at no charge. The city transfer station, so Kapa'a being the closest, Waimanalo Convenience Center as well, we will not be accepting food waste at those locations. So green waste will still be accepted at Kapa'a and Waimanalo, but not food waste. Next slide. So what happens to the food waste? Similar to the green waste, it will be composted. Hawaiian Earth has a different system now because they have food waste in there. It's an in-vessel system. So they are also CRB trained by the USDA. So they are very, very conscientious about CRB entering their facility and contaminating their compost as well. But by all means, you can go there, take a visit. They also are giving away free mulch. What else is on there? Okay, next slide, please. And so this is the most important thing. I know somebody had mentioned about landfill. And so what we try to do is divert as much material from the waste stream. We don't even think about H-Power or waste to energy. We don't even think about the landfill. We just see what is in the waste stream and how can we divert that material. 100 or 60,000 tons of food is in our waste stream currently, and that's residentially generated. 180,000 tons is both residential and commercial. So there, and if we process close to 800,000 tons of food waste, that is a large portion of our waste stream is food waste. So one, this is just an avenue to divert it from the waste stream, but we really have to start thinking about how can we reduce the amount. Source reduction, how can we reduce the amount of food waste that we as individuals are generating? Composting is the preferred method. And if you look at that scale on the left-hand side of the U, those are the better way to manage any type of food waste. And prevention is probably at the top, or most likely at the top, or it is at the top. And then our goal by 2030, the city's goal is 95% landfill diversion. Next slide. And this is what we've been doing for the past 3 months. We have our webpage, our grow page, we have FAQs, brochures, and fact sheets. We are holding public workshops. We will continue to hold public workshops. And then we also have social media. Next slide. And then with that, I will take any questions. Yes. Yeah. Oh.
Kelly.
Thank you for the presentation, and I'm really excited about this program. I had a few questions actually. So I was wondering first, what was done to outreach to residents about this program? Because I mean, I think a lot of people still don't know. And like you said, it actually started yesterday.
Yeah, yesterday. It started yesterday, yes.
How were residents connected to, did you send letters to them?
So we did send mailers, postcard mailers to those that are that have automated collection and are within that piloted area. So for those in Kailua, I believe all of Kailua and a little bit of Kaneohe we sent mailers out to them. Okay. And then if I were to kind of backtrack, we had workshops at different within the piloted areas. We went to neighborhood board meetings to promote this. We've done media spots. We've been on the news, and yet it's still not enough. We've always received some sort of complaint about you guys didn't do enough, and so we're really trying to get out to the community to really try and push this program.
Okay, and then my next question was about the duration of the pilot. I personally I actually pay to compost my food through Leftover Love. They have a program where you can send your food waste to them instead of putting it in the trash. Mm-hmm. And so for people like me, should we cancel that? Is this only going to be for a few months, or is this going to continue? And we're
going island wide as of October. Oh. So this pilot program is just really to take a look at participation rate, contamination frequency. We then revise, if needed, our educational campaign, and we're going to go island-wide. There's too much food waste that's in our waste stream to just say, no, we're not going to do this. It's 160,000 tons of food waste is generated each year. So
I'm so happy. Okay, and my last question, as a person who already composts my food through a system I've kind of done for a couple years now, it's like, it's a really hard learning curve for people to get used to like having kind of gross food around. Like, so I sometimes I keep food in the fridge just so it doesn't get gross, you know, and then I dump it all when I'm gonna. And then we've also found through the company that I use, they said that like food waste would get stuck in the bins if you didn't use a liner. And so they started promoting actually us to use like paper or something. And I saw you guys said like maybe line it with leaves, but if you're gonna have like a bin in your kitchen counter and like you leave food in there, it's gonna get stuck to the bin. You're gonna end up using a lot of water and it smells. And personally, I deal with it as I'm okay with it. But most people I know would not want to do that. And I think whatever you guys can do to help make it more convenient for people, just because a lot of people won't be inconvenienced to do this. Like they're still just gonna throw it in the trash because that's just more convenient for them. But I know you said there's like those bins and liners you're offering, but I think like letting people know more like on how they can do that and like troubleshoot problems with people, like if you can reach out to you guys or something, like what is their avenue for those kinds of things?
by all means, they can reach out to the recycling branch. They can reach out to myself as well. And we do have our website, honolulu.gov/env/grow. So just to address some of the concerns, so freezing is one way you can really collect food waste and it'll be out of sight, out of mind. That's what I do now. That's what I've been doing for the past 6-7 years. A lot of what I heard is I don't have freezer space. Well, if you don't have freezer space, then what's all that food in the back? Is that food waste already? You know, so it really boils down to the individual. If you are generating food waste, what can you do to generate less? Now, if you still are generating food waste, are you going to go out every third day and put it in your green waste cart? Are you going to cover it? Are you going to add baking soda? Are you going to add coffee grounds just to mask the smell? These containers that we are giving away, they are sealed, but once you open it, it will have an odor. So how are you going to mitigate that? In the end, the answer then lies with all of us. Don't generate it in the first place. So this is one avenue. If you do generate food waste, what you're doing at home is another avenue or an option for you. Bokashi is another option. So there's all of these options, and we're currently putting food waste in our gray cart in a bag. You're just changing carts, taking out the bag. So there's, once you give it a shot, and that's all we're encouraging people to do, give it a shot. Once you realize how little food waste you generate, then the next step is, how can I generate even less? Well, so I have my wife and three kids. 1 gallon of food waste per week is what we generate. And I am very a stickler about capturing every little bit of organic material. And you know how kids are. They don't eat everything. So there I am. And when you freeze food waste, there's a lot of airspace. So when you thaw it, it actually is only a half a Ziploc bag. So that's even less. So as I'm putting that material into, if I ferment my food or if I put it in my backyard composter, now I have an option, and that being the green compost cart. And whatever green waste I have, that's where I'm layering. I'm making also sure that my lid is closed. Yes.
How are commercial like restaurants and stuff, are they able to participate at all, or?
So this is only for residential. For those that are on the automated. Now, commercial, the city and county does have a food waste ordinance. It's 9620, but it's geared for those large generators of food waste. In Chinatown, the city participated in a pilot program to compost the small and medium-sized commercial restaurants. Very successful. So the next approach is to amend the existing law, but not only is Hawaiian Earth an option for businesses to compost their food waste, the treatment and disposal plants for wastewater is looking also to capture some of that organic material to create a biofuel, so that way they can power their plants and their fleet. And so that is in the planning phase right now. I am involved in that. And so I'm just trying to like work the residential side first, and then I go to the commercial side. There are, oh,
I just wanted to ask one quick question. So
Sure.
if I want to do this tomorrow, all I have to do is start dumping the appropriate foods in the green bin.
yeah, well, yes. Eat all your food first.
Yeah. Oh, no, I know.
Yeah.
No, I know.
Yeah.
No, no.
Eat all
I'm
your
saying yeah, there's
Yeah.
freezing, there's all of that. I just
Yeah.
want to make sure if I'm clear, if that's, that it is, yes, it's hard, but it's simple too.
Yes, very simple to do. It did start April 1st, yesterday. Yes.
Yeah, mahalo for this. It's definitely overdue, but super stoked about how comprehensive it is and that you guys are so serious about rolling it out. And I know it'll be great for our farmers and stuff too. So, yeah, just to kind of kakoo some things that Kellyanne said. Yeah, I've composted for a long time. It's fine. It's easy,
Yeah.
but a lot of people don't know. I was talking to my auntie about the new program tonight, and I did get the mailer, super helpful, QR code, etc. But I think it is going to take people who aren't used to doing this, like some more education. So that's one of my questions. Like, can you guys continue to push out materials? Like, I think some of the stuff in your presentation tonight, super helpful. Just the basic tips of like, put it in the freezer, like use a liner, but don't throw the liner in the bin or whatever, like that kind of stuff. That'll help folks who don't have the experience with it. And then my other question was just about yeah, the compostable materials piece and your intention there. You know, we like when we compost now, we use compostable bags. They don't have PFAS in them. Like I think for a lot of households, if that were an option that they could just dump that in there, it would probably make things easier. So just like what's the status on that? Do you think that'll be possible?
So as far as the continuous education, we are going to be doing this for as long as the program exists. I say that only because if you look at the blue card and you look at those items that are embossed on the blue card, it's pretty easy to follow, but that's not what we get. And so there's this continuous push just for the blue card. So we will be continuing our educational approach for the green card as well, green composting card as well. Now, as far as the compostable bags, because PFAS is a hazardous waste, that is the reason why we are very hesitant to accept it. So I do see a lot of compostable bags. I do see a lot of BPI certified. But until that compost is tested and the PFAS levels the results are in front of me, and there are no limits yet. There's no threshold. So that's why we are working closely with DOH to say, okay, if there's this much PFAS in there, are you still going to consider it a hazardous waste? And then Hawaiian Earth can't sell their product because it's a hazardous waste. And so that's why we're very, very hesitant on any of the compostables at this time. Now, Ordinance 1930, disposable foodware ordinance, that's why we're seeing a lot, and that's the regulation on foodware, serviceware, and to a degree, plastic bags. Because of that ordinance, we're seeing a lot of the compostable material. And that's where, you know, when this ordinance was passed to collect food waste, manufactured compost materials were also part of the system. But when PFAS started to surface in packaging, that's when we kind of pulled back. So there is a HB 644 that was introduced, and I think it did cross over. And that is a statewide regulation on PFAS. So
Great. Yeah, that was gonna be my follow-up question is, do we need state or county laws to better regulate those materials? And it sounds like yes.
Yeah. So HB 644. So I'm watching that, and it did cross over. So
Okay, and then as stoked as I am about this, I do have to just register one complaint on behalf of a very important constituent of mine, which is my mother's 80-pound tortoise. He's very, very disappointed about this because he's gonna have nothing to eat anymore. So
no, feed animals. That's higher on the priority. Feed people, feed animals. You know, this is just another option, but
I'll let him know that's city orders. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Thank you. Yeah.
Any other questions from the board? Kellyanne?
Sorry, might be asking a lot, but I was wondering about why like for paper bags then and like pizza boxes, like those are just paper. And I do think from what I've been doing with my system, it's like at least having some kind of liner on my container when I put the waste in helps it to come out a lot easier. It's not as gunky. So I was wondering why not like paper bags, since we do get a lot of those fairly easily, I think.
So if we're talking about something like a brown paper bag, I would prefer that to be composted. Or I'm sorry, not recycled. So you recycle your brown paper bag. It's same material as cardboard. There is a high value. There is a high recyclability rate for that type of material. If you're talking about, let's say, newspaper, the inks in that would be questionable. You know, so that's why it's for this program, we really wanted to just focus on food waste. I know it's a convenience, issue. But what I see, what the branch sees at Hawaiian Earth, and you see these 55-gallon plastic liners, and then if we were, and believe me, there are a lot of people who said, Henry, you gotta, let them use plastic bags. We're going to see much more plastic bags. And so once a plastic bag gets into the grinder, now you've got a lot of plastic. And they do have a mechanism to be able to extract a lot of the plastic, but why not omit it from the source? And that's really what's critical. We got to generate less waste from the source. We got to generate less contamination from the source.
Any other questions? Oh, Malia.
Hi, sorry.
Online?
Yep, I am. I went home and have been listening. And while you've been speaking, thank you for the presentation. I've been looking how this will potentially impact or how it will impact the landfill issue. Because as you may be aware, Kailua is very concerned about the future landfill location. So if you're going to divert, there's about 250, I'm looking on your website right now, 250,000 tons of waste go to the landfill. You're going to divert 60,000, up to 60,000 tons. That's your goal. How long? How are we basically, that would seem to extend the current landfill then usage.
Well, no, we do have to be out of Waimanalo Gulch by 2028. That is our goal, is to be out by 2028. Like I mentioned in the beginning, the goal of the recycling branch is not to think where this material is going. It could go to H Power. You're still burning food waste. Your ash is then going to a landfill. We're really looking at trying to divert 60,000 tons from entering the waste stream. But if it does go to, let's say, the landfill, now we've just wasted a resource to where we could have closed the circle by making it into compost, selling it to farmers growing, consumers buy it, and then we really look at a circular approach. So waste diversion is really the key to all of this. Landfill, because of the recent floods, we do see a need for a landfill. I mean, a lot of this material is going to, the existing landfill. So But that's not what I'm here to talk about, the landfill issue. The recycling job is really waste diversion.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Any questions from the audience? Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Have a good evening.
Okay, next one. Yeah, the unmarked native Hawaiian burial sites, Kailua Sands discussion.
Aloha kako. My name is Tom Dye, and I represent the city's Historic Preservation Commission. As I was driving over from my home in Chinatown tonight, I realized it's been 60 years since I attended Kailua Intermediate School. Made me feel like an old man. But anyway, I'm here tonight to report the commission's response to a complaint brought by the Association of Hawaiian Civic Clubs that unmarked human burials in Kailua are being denied historic preservation protection. Many of you have likely seen the Civic Club's resolution that I've included in the meeting materials. I've also included the Commission's due diligence report, which concludes that there are very many unmarked burials, human burials, still present in Kailua. Only God knows for certain how many unmarked burials remain in Kailua, but the Commission believes that any reasonable estimate must be in the thousands. The Commission is deeply grateful to the Kailua Neighborhood Board's support for traditional Hawaiian burial customs. Knowing that the good people of Kailua respect unmarked burials set the tone for the Commission's response to the Civic Club's complaint, which is to enable government to support a community of burial stewards dedicated to preserving and protecting the thousands of Hawaiian ancestors currently resting in peace beneath Kailua town. The Commission's efforts to foster a Kailua community of burial stewards focuses on how the state and city governments can support the burial steward community. We've identified 3 initiatives that I want to bring to your attention tonight. First and foremost, we would like government to provide landowners the information they need to assess the likelihood of unmarked burials on their residential parcels. A few years ago, a friend who lived near St. Anthony's, where numerous unmarked burials have been found, pulled a permit to build a lap pool in her backyard. She called me in distress after she got home from the office and found bones of her ancestors strewn over her yard. She never would have started the project if she'd known the high probability of unmarked burials in her neighborhood. Tonight, I'm very pleased to report that the Association of Hawaiian Civic Clubs has collaborated with the Burial Stewardship Group, Kailua Kauaho'ilo, and the Society for Hawaiian Archaeology to produce a comprehensive GIS data layer of known Kailua burial locations. There are more than 300 of these, by the way. Together, they collected known burial locations from archaeological consultants to create, for the first time, a complete inventory of known burial locations. They have expended great effort to put these disparate data into the GIS format used by the State Historic Preservation Division, so the information can be easily merged with the incomplete data held by both the state and the city. In addition, these burial stewards have used the data to propose a sensitivity map that classifies tax map parcels as high or low probability for containing unmarked human burials. These burial stewards are going to present the proposed sensitivity map to the Oahu Island Burial Council at its next meeting, and they will also present the proposed sensitivity map to our commission at its meeting later this month. If all goes well, I expect the commission will adopt the sensitivity map at its next meeting and recommend that the city and state adopt it as well and make it available to landowners so they can make informed development plans. The second initiative encourages stewardship by extending historic preservation tax credits to burial stewards. Historic preservation tax credits have a proven record of success building communities of architectural stewards in places like New Uanu and Manoa. The Commission believes that historic preservation tax credits will find similar success building a community of burial stewards here in Kailua. Councilmember Kia Aina and her staff have expressed support for the idea, and I hope they will be open to working with you and your neighbors to make this program a reality for Kailua burial stewards. Nevertheless, we need your help as constituents of Councilmember Kia Aina to get the ball rolling to create historic preservation tax credits for Kailua burial stewards. Please talk with your friends, talk with your neighbors, and let Councilmember Kia Aina know that you support this idea. The third initiative would streamline the permit process for burial stewards by implementing a memorandum of agreement between the State Historic Preservation Division and the city's Department of Planning and Permitting. This spells out the steps needed to identify unmarked burials and register them for a historic preservation tax credit. In effect, burial stewards would move to the front of the line and avoid the long backlog of projects at the State Historic Preservation Division. The State Historic Preservation Division has expressed a strong interest in such an MOA, but the city's Department of Planning and Permitting has repeatedly declined to discuss the matter with them. One way forward might be for the Commission to work directly with the Association of Hawaiian Civic Clubs, Kailua, Kaua, Ho'oilo, the Society for Hawaiian Archaeology, the State Historic Preservation Division, and with you, the Kailua Neighborhood Board, to draft a memorandum of agreement which the Commission would recommend the city adopt. As always, the Commission is open to your help as we try to enlist the city to join the community of burial stewards. Thank you very much for your time this evening. On behalf of the Commission, I look forward to working with the Kailua Neighborhood Board to preserve and steward unmarked human burials in Kailua. Thank you.
Donna Wong.
The resolution that you provided to the board, is that the same resolution from the Hawaiian Civic Clubs or is it different?
I haven't followed what you folks have done. A couple years ago, you did pass a resolution that you sent on to us. That's what I was referring to, that really set us on the course to involve the Kailua community in any plans to steward burials here and protect them.
Okay, so
To answer your question, I'm sorry, to answer your question, I don't know what the Association of Hawaiian Civic Clubs brought to you folks.
okay,
It looks like the old resolution to me, Donna.
pardon?
It looks like the old resolution to me because it's addressed to some of our former state representatives. It's the old resolution.
It's the same resolution that
Yeah,
Hawaiian Civic Clubs, okay.
yeah.
Okay. Is there a paper that you can give to my committee, Planning, Zoning, and Environment, so that we can discuss it further and then bring it forth to the board if we want to see if there's any action
Well, absolutely.
in support?
Yes, thank you very much for that, Donna. I provided with your meeting materials, the original resolution from the Association of Hawaiian Civic Clubs that brought the complaint to the commission. And then I also included with your packet, the commission's due diligence report, where we evaluated the probability of burials in Kailua and came up with the conclusion that any estimate of the burials that remain in the ground, the number must be in the thousands. You should have that. If you don't, I can send it digitally.
I don't, so you have three requests. You have three requests?
Not of you folks so much. I'm not here to ask the neighborhood board to do anything. The commission has not authorized me to do that. It's supposed to be purely informational at this point. But if anything that you folks can do to help us, we'd really appreciate it.
Well, we've been looking, since the city has required neighborhood boards to look at special management area major permits. The committee's been looking at those permits, and I'm trying to figure out how to make them as comprehensive as possible. We always put in there that be, a burial assessment or some kind of review, cultural assessment, some kind of review. So if there's better, stronger language that we can use because of this whole awareness, that would really help us. And hopefully it would help the council members make a decision.
Yeah, thanks very much for that. Anything that the commission can do to help on historic preservation issues here in Kailua, we're very happy to do that. We've struggled for a couple of years with the complaint brought by the Hawaiian Civic Clubs. Not because we were suspicious about the complaint itself, because we found that it was right on. But we've struggled with the city because they're kind of set in their ways and they really don't want to change up what they're doing now. And we think it's necessary that they do that.
Why don't they want to change?
You would have to ask them, Don. I've asked them several times, and I haven't really gotten a straight answer yet.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Kelly.
I was wondering if you'd be willing to come to one of our committees. We have one, the one that Donna's talking about. I think it would help for us to like get more information about what exactly is like the issue that's not being resolved. I think that because we do want to support, better practices in regards to iwi kupuna, and we don't want to, we want to support that in any way we can. So I think if we could understand better, like what it is that is missing, like maybe we can facilitate discussions between, whether it's between the community or with it's like getting the city, bothering Esther or something. I think that would help because, yeah, I think I'm still a little confused too. Like, I think we know where the board stands. Like, we do support better management for and protection for iwi kupuna, but I don't think we know what the way forward is.
Yeah, thank you for that question. I've given you our commission's ideas about what the way forward is. The root of the problem is that when projects come to Department of Planning and Permitting for development projects here in Kailua, they're not forwarded to the State Historic Preservation Division for review. And we had testimony from the state archaeologist, Dr. Lebo, who said that they want to review these development projects, but that DPP is not forwarding them for review. And so we're trying to get DPP to do that. So there are a couple of things in our response. One of these sensitivity maps so that you folks know if you're on one of the hot spots. And there are like 3 or 4 major clusters of burials in Kailua. But the second part of that I think is important for this is this idea of an MOA, because it basically puts all the consultation between DPP and the State Historic Preservation Division. It puts that up front, and it's enshrined in the MOA so that we don't have a problem of, like my friend over near St. Anthony's did, of pulling a permit that doesn't go to SHPD. Okay, because with the MOA there, the consultation will have been done already. And the people at DEP, the line workers there, will say, oh, this is one of those. It falls within a high probability for unmarked human burials. Therefore, we should take these precautions.
Any other questions from the board? Any online? The audience? Please come up to the stand. You have to speak into the mic, sir.
Issue. I'm a homeowner and I decide I want to go get a permit, put a pool in my yard. And then we pull the permit, contractor comes over and he says, hey, the tractor, we found these bones over here. Could be Hawaiian bones. What happens to my project? Does it stop?
Yeah, that's a really good question. Yes, your project stops. It doesn't stop forever, but it stops until proper treatment can be given to the remains that are found on your property. Okay, and then once that is taken care of, your project proceeds. We see the proposal that we've made as helping the landowner because, for one, before you start, government will tell you if it's likely that you're going to find burials on your property, so you can plan in advance. Okay. Also, you can plan in advance, and you don't end up doing what my friend by St. Anthony had to do. What she did is she didn't want to dig up her ancestors. And so she actually hired an archaeological firm to put the individuals back together again and rebury them in her backyard. And then she cut out her pool completely. A lot of people don't want to do that. There is a way to go forward once you find burials. But it's more cost effective if you know how to do it. And you don't have it happen in the middle of the project when you have to have the construction crews sitting on the sidelines.
So I had the experience of working on a shopping center on the Big Island. And we had to put an intersection with traffic lights. And they found bones underneath the road. And so the burial council said, the spirits have to go back and forth. So you have to build the road over the bones so that there's a space underneath the road. Anyway, it delayed the project for some time.
One of the advantages.
Steve Treckler, go ahead.
Could I answer? I have an answer for this. If I could remember this late at night for me, sorry. Yeah. So one of the advantages of having a burial steward program would be that if you're committed to it, then you don't have to go through the burial council. You can redesign your project. Say you're going to put in a swimming pool on your lot. Folks on Maui who are in the isthmus there, they're huge Hawaiian burial grounds there. They've taken to building their pools with landscaping. So they build up a platform of some kind and then dig the pool down in that. And that keeps the bottom of the pool above the top of the graves. And so they found a way to work around this and still respect the Hawaiian burials.
Steve?
Did I understand you to say that there were 3 or 4 main concentrations of Iwi kupuna in Kailua?
Yes.
Can you tell us where they are? I mean, I think everybody on this board would like to know that, and we'd like to be able to tell our constituents that kind of information when it comes up.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't have that off the top of my head. I know that St. Anthony's is the epicenter. That's the greatest concentration, but there are others. The sensitivity map that the Hawaiian Civic Club is putting together with the professional archaeologists who actually work in Kailua, the folks who are handling the bones. That I'm not sure exactly how many hot spots they're going to identify with their sensitivity map. We'll learn that at our commission later this month when they present it to us. And at that time, then, we can share it with you, certainly.
Go ahead.
So is this the same group that's doing the EV search in the community parking lot in Kailua? Is that part of the same mapping project?
I'm not sure. I'm not familiar with that project you're talking about. Sorry.
Okay. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? That the commission isn't aware of an EV project that's shutting down our parking lot in Kailua to look for EV. Is this another example of the left hand not talking to the right hand within our city? It certainly appears that way.
Could I answer that?
Yes.
Jade, our commission is volunteer. We're volunteers. I've been retired for about 6 years now. We have a very professional commission, but we're volunteers and we only do what the city shares with us.
Oh.
And oftentimes they don't want to share, I think.
Let me clarify. I thoroughly appreciate the work that you're doing.
Thank you.
I just find it not in a funny way, hilarious that we have organizations of responsible individuals wanting to do something better for the community. And then we have administrators that sit in an office and make timelines and decisions with no understanding of how that affects the people that live and walk in a daily life. So no upset to you at all. And I am thankful for the work you do. But hello, if there are any paid elected people online still, this is on you folks, that you are paid to do a job to represent our community, and yet you drop the ball so vividly that we on the ground pay the price of inconvenience, frustration. Businesses are being hurt because if anybody has been in the Kailua community parking lot, it's a hot mess. We've given permits for a construction company that's building an illegally heighted building, which we have another conversation, to allow 15 parking places. In the middle of that construction, we are going to shut down 5 to 10 parking places every 15 days. And the organization that's doing the work doesn't have the full picture of what they're doing to the community. Their hearts are in the right place. Their professionalism is in the right place. The paid professionals don't have a clue, don't give a damn. And it's really upsetting again and again that we face this problem. I'm sorry I'm off on a tangent, Chair, but if there is anybody elected and collecting a paycheck still online, this is an ongoing issue that needs to be addressed. Thank you, Chair. Thank you so much.
Thank you. We need to move on. So thank you very much for your presentation. I understand you might be coming to the Planning and Zoning Committee. Is that your intention?
Oh, I'd love to, yeah.
Okay.
Our commission really wants the Kailua community to be involved in burial stewardship here. And we appreciate any help that you can give.
Don is going to talk to you to set you up for our next meeting. Okay, we have some board business to do. Approval of the minutes from December, approval of the minutes from February, and approval of the minutes from March. Is there any discussion or improvements or mistakes, or anyone online have any questions on the minutes? So we will approve the minutes. Any reports from any of the committees? Anyone on the line want to give a report on the committee meetings? Seeing no reports, we'll move on. What is this one here? Oh, anyone that wants to change committees? Go ahead.
Yeah, Chair, I'd like to be removed from from your committee, the Community and Government Engagement Committee.
Okay. So he's going off, right? Okay, so there's no vote on that, right? Okay. Anybody else want to change at their committee? Enter a committee? Okay. Chair's report. Committee agendas for May. Oh, Bill has something to say? Go ahead, Bill.
Chair, I think there was an agenda item on 3 meeting absences.
Oh. What would you like me to discuss there, Bill? Would you like to talk about that?
Yes, please.
Go ahead.
When a neighborhood board member misses 3 meetings in a 1-year term, the neighborhood commission office initiates action to verify that the member wishes to continue as a member, and it has to be placed on the agenda for the neighborhood board. We did have that occur for one board member, Emily Andrade, and she missed a meeting, the first meeting of this term in July, because she was off island and was unable to attend because of work requirement to be off island. She missed a second meeting because of a pre-existing scheduling conflict. And in December, she missed a third meeting because of illness and her family illness. And she notified me as chair that because of her illness, she would not be able to attend. This happens. And I just want to thank every one of our 19 members for being volunteers in service to Kailua. We're required to have this on the agenda. It has now been noted. My recommendation is that we now move on and case closed. That's all I have. Thank you.
Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll move on. Okay. Chair's report. Committee agendas for May 2026 are due to the chair by Sunday, April 26th, 2026. And we are adjourned.